fix that.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Union High School's gymnasium on the campus of Union High School for tonight's matchup between the Booker T. Washington Lady Hornets and your Union varsity volleyball squad. First, let's meet the subs for the Lady Hornets. Number 3, Trinity McKnight. Number 5, Avery Flinton. Number 6, Bridget Johnson. Number 7, Tia Grappado. Number 12, Elle Doctor. And number 17, Christian Friday. And now your starting lineups for the Lady Hornets. Number 4, Kate Yamashita. Number 8, Kendall Johnson. Number 9, Taryn McIntosh. Number 10, Emma Pappas. Number 11, Sydney Thompson. Number 15, Mackenzie Johns. And number 18, Lexa Turner. Your assistant coaches are Georgetta Morris, Mike Leatherland, and Justin McCowan, and your head coach is Cody Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, the Booker T. Washington Lady Hornets. And now, let's meet your Union varsity volleyball squad. First, number 7, senior Kaylin Stolkup. Number 9, a junior Amaya Norwood. Senior number 15, Aubrey Stanley. Number 17, senior Kaylee Mitch. Number 16, a sophomore Gracie Howard. Number 22, a junior Mackenzie Thiessen. And number 26, a junior Maddie LaPointe. And now your starting lineups. Number 1, junior Tierney Jackson. Number 5, a senior Emily Ludwig. Number 11, the sophomore Sydney Smith. Number 19, the junior Mia Martin. Number 14, Shahada Cha-Cha Robledo. Number 23, senior Kaylee Willis. And number 24, senior Allie Blackwell. Your head athletic trainer is Dan Newman. Your assistant coach is James Thomas. And ladies and gentlemen, finishing his 26th season at Union, Coach Chad McKee. Your officials tonight are Jerry Brands and Rich Cooper. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to get loud. This is the last home game for your Union varsity volleyball squad. Let's make a racket tonight. Well, good evening. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, as I keep another mic on accidentally, to Union High School for tonight's matchup between the Booker T. Washington Lady Hornets and your Union varsity volleyball squad. And tonight, a fired-up crowd here at the high school gymnasium on the campus of Union High School, where these Lady Hornets will take on your Union volleyball squad in what has to be one of the craziest years for any of us out there, and the fact that these girls are getting through a regular season with really only one stoppage, and that's just a testament to Dan Newman and Coach McKee and Coach Thompson and the things that Union is doing here. That's a testament to the squads that we've played all year and to all the other schools out there that are battling whatever this craziness is called COVID. We welcome you in to Union Volleyball as Booker T. Washington will get to serve first as they won the toss. And we're awaiting the great Rich Cooper to verify some squads and some numbers. As the Lady Hornets are fired up, as you can see. I'd like to thank everybody for watching us, especially the one, the only Nick Irwin down at OU on the campus of the 1 and 2 Oklahoma Sooners. Nick, we appreciate you watching out there along with everybody else, and we're underway. Served there by Sydney Thompson. And Union can't get it over, and it's a quick 1-0 lead for the Lady Hornets. Something to be mentioned, and I will probably mention it way too many times tonight. At one point, this Union squad was 4-7. Then they began to click it in. And since their 4-7 record, they've rattled off 11 wins and 3 losses to give them an overall record of 15-10. They've reached deep into the passion bucket, and whatever they've found has been working for them over the last 14 games. And we're quickly knotted at 1. Willis to serve. Kaylee Willis back to serve. Little mix up there, but Union keeps it alive, and a big blast there. Controlled well by the Hornets. They'll get it back over the net, and it'll go long. And Union will take the 2-1 lead. Willis back there directed some traffic, making sure that the girls didn't play it. Tip there, nicely done by Lexa Turner. Get it over the net, a little misplay there by Union. We're knotted at 2. Yamashita to serve. Kate Yamashita back to serve for the Lady Hornets. Handled there by Jackson. Up to Ludwig. Big hit in the net. Point awarded to Union. And Blackwell will go back to serve. Excuse me. Yes, Allie Blackwell will go back to serve. Robledo checks out. I believe LaPointe checks back in. That's correct. A little miscommunication there, and I don't think that would have made it over the net anyway. Coach Mike Leatherland stepping in for Coach Cody Lee tonight. Cody couldn't make it, so we wish him all the best. From the Union family to his. Nicely handled there by Willis. Union sets it up. Big blast there by the one, the only, Junior Tierney Jackson. And that's something we've seen a lot of this year. The big arm by Jackson, and when she's on, she is unstoppable. Blackwell back to serve. Oh, lucky bounce there by the Lady Hornets. And it's 5-3. McIntosh checks back in. Emma Pappas to serve. Pappas back to serve. We're early on here in the first set. Nicely handled by Jackson. She'll get it back and just pokes it over, but she pokes it out of bounds. She knows better than that, and that's what Coach McKee frowning at her, because she knows not to punch it over like that. She needed to handle it a little bit better. She's smiling at herself because she knew she had made the mistake. Pappas back again to serve. Nice serve, better dig by Willis, but nobody there to help her out. It was a good job for Willis to get down there and pick that up, but nobody was at the net to pick her up. And we're knotted at 5. Miscommunication there, but they'll get it over. Big blast there. And it's out of bounds. Booker T now goes up by 1. They did give it to Union after a tip. So Jackson will set up the serve. Mia Martin checks back in for Union. Jackson to serve. And that'll go out of bounds, so we're again knotted at 6. Jerry Brand and Rich Cooper got together on that, and they said that that was tipped, so you're good. Trinity McKnight checks in. McKnight to serve. McKnight to serve. Knotted at 6, as I said earlier, and as you can see on your screen. Willis sets it up to Ludwig. Ludwig with a big blast, and it's down. Tipped again, and they couldn't handle it. Seemed like they were out of position. The Lady Hornets were out of positions to block that. As Sydney Smith checks in for Willis. Ludwig back to serve. And it's in. An ace. Ace by Ludwig. Ludwig comes up with the big ace. Big smile on their face, and we'll do it again. Miscommunication by the Hornets, and they'll just get it over. Set up. Big drive. Kept alive. Almost. Great hustle there by the Hornets to try to keep that alive. But I'm telling you, when Allie Blackwell and Tierney Jackson, either one of those knocking it over, you better get out of the way. That's all I have to say. Both big arms. Both big arms on the front of this line for McKee. They're going to let that go, and that's long. Great eyes by Jackson playing that line over there. And Union's up by 4. And we'll take a timeout. Coach Mike Leatherland wants to talk it over, and we'll be back in 45 seconds. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. And so Union's next match will be versus Sand Springs at the Frank Carroll Fieldhouse on the campus of Chase High School. That'll be next Tuesday, October 13th. The first serve coming about 6 p.m.
They gave him honor call when she did that. I didn't know. Sorry.
No, I did not. I said that you two got together and talked about it. I gave you credit. So we're back live here in the Union Gymnasium talking to Rich Cooper during the break, and the Lady Hornets, being the well-coached, great group of young ladies they are, gave an honor call saying that they tipped it. I accidentally said that Cooper and Brands got together and talked about it, but again, showing sportsmanship that both schools are great at teaching. Lady Hornets give up a point, and they'll give up another one on that serve and volley. 11-6 now. Misplay there by McIntosh. She was expecting it one place, and the girls put it in another. And Ludwig's on a roll. 12-6 here in the first set. Ludwig with a nice deep ball, and it's long. Too much from Mackenzie Johns. And Ludwig will again serve it up. Nice big block there by Sydney Smith. The sophomore making her presence known, and she gets it over. A great dig. She keeps it alive. Ludwig will set it up. Blackwell back to Smith, and she earned that one. Great hustle there by the sophomore Sydney Smith with the kill. I tell you what, that's why Chad McKee's got so much confidence in the sophomore, is plays like that, and we've seen them multiple times throughout this great season. Miscommunication there. And I don't want to give any credit to Emily Ludwig, because as soon as I do, I guess by not giving credit, I am giving her credit for the great serve run she's on. And it'll continue, and my jinx is not there, thank goodness. as the great director-producer Andy Irwin laughs at my attempt at humor. 16-6 now, Union on top by 10. They'll let it go. Sorry, I was off by a serve. Johns to serve. McKinsey Johns will serve. Kaylee Willis checks back in. And she'll get it. Blackwell Jackson from way back. Nicely saved. Blackwell with the great save. And in the net they go. But the spark that Union has, and they're playing with some grit and reaching deep into their passion bucket. As I've mentioned, they've gone on this tear since being 4-7. They're 11-3 since that break. And there's a big blast by LaPointe. Stalkup checks in. Robledo checks in. Seems a confusion. So Rich Cooper will hand out a yellow card for the fact that there was some miscommunication on some substitutions. We got it all cleared up, and we'll play on. Set up way deep. Jackson, nicely done. There she, oh, excuse me. I said Jackson, and my bad. Both teams decked out in black, as I mentioned that because I think it's funny. Robledo to serve. Robledo to serve here, and I say it's funny because, by golly, if we were going end-to-end, this would be a nightmare for me. Jackson with the tip knocks it out of bounds on the blast. Kendall Johnson checks in. Taryn McIntosh to serve. Up by 9 are the ladies from Union. Jackson with the blast from way back. Okay, maybe not much of a blast, but communication's a key here. Kaylee Willis gets it over. The Hornets keep it going. We'll set it back up. Miscommunication again, and Sydney Smith tries to clean it up, but boy howdy. Talk about some miscommunication by the girls there. So it'll be Martin, Smith, and Blackwell up front. Willis, Robledo, and Jackson in the back. Willis tries to take care of it. Robledo can't clean it up, and that's okay. The lead is now 7 for Union. It's McIntosh back to serve. Willis can't seem to handle those serves coming from them, and they can't get it over, and I tell you what, Coach McKee looks on. Kaylee knows that she's better than that. She'll clean it up, handle this next serve. Robledo gets it over to Jackson. Big blast there, and they handle it well. The Hornets set it up. Robledo, deep serve, nice. Knocked over there by Martin. Kept alive, and Smith again with the big block. Stalkup checks in. Caitlin Stalkup checks in. She'll go serve. Nice serve. Robledo sets it up to Smith. Oh, and a nice save there by Robledo, but nicely done by the Hornets. I tell you what, both teams looking really slick on that. Norwood checks in for Union. Amaya Norwood checks in now. Sydney Thompson to serve. Sydney Thompson to serve. So on the floor is Norwood, Willis, and Robledo behind. And some miscommunication there, and Willis will just do their best to get it over. Send it deep, and the Hornets set it up. Norwood probably should have let it go, but it's to Jackson, a big blast there, and blocked out of bounds. As Ludwig comes back in, and Willis will set up the serve. Willis to serve. Willis to serve with Union up by 7 now. Communication a key here as Union's getting a little sloppy, and just as I say that, the Lady Hornets get sloppy. Mike Leatherland barking out some orders to his Lady Hornets, and Willis will serve. Robledo can't handle the big blast from number 15, Mackenzie Johns. And the point will be awarded to the Hornets. Now back to serve is Kate Yamashita. Yamashita sets the serve up. Willis handles that one. She's got her game back on, and there's a big blast by Jackson, and I tell you, the Rocket. That's what I'm gonna start calling her, Tierney the Rocket Jackson. LaPointe checks in. Blackwell to serve. Allie Blackwell back to serve. The senior enjoying a great season for Union. Nice serve there, and they can't handle that one. Point awarded. And we're 2 points away from winning this first set. 23-14. Blackwell to serve it out. Let's see if she can do it. Oh, nicely done, and gets a friendly roll. And it's match point. Set point. It's deep serve. Handled well. Big tip there. And the Hornets will come away with a point. Make it 24-15. Taryn McIntosh checks in. Emma Pappas back to serve for the Lady Hornets. She'll send it short. Jackson nicely handled there. Big blast, and that's it. Union takes the first set, 25-15. And we're going to take a timeout here. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. Other schools wishes to thank TTCU for supporting Union schools and Union athletics. Welcome back, everybody, here to Union High School's gymnasium on the campus of Union High School. If you're just joining us, 25-15, Union trounces the Lady Hornets in the first set. Really, there was no doubt as these young ladies from Union really took it to the Lady Hornets. And as I mentioned earlier, for those of you just joining us, what you got to remember is that Union had a 4-7 record, but now enjoy a record of 15-10 as they roll out an 11-3 record over the last 14 matches and do really, really, really well. And what does that get them? Well, after the win tonight, they're going to be playing Sand Springs in Jinx Tuesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. And the winner of that will take on the winner of Jinx and Muskogee. And that match will tip off at approximately 7:30. That's all coming to you from the Frank Harold Fieldhouse on the campus of Jinx High School. As we're underway, Lady Hornets make some mistakes, but get it going. Really kind of lulled Union to sleep there. I don't think Union thought they could get it back over, and by golly, they did, and what happens? Lady Hornets get a quick point. Into the net, and we're knotted at 1. So I got a shout out to the Ludwig family again and Aubrey Stanley's family. So the Ludwigs are listening to us in Florida, and Aubrey Stanley's family are listening to us in all parts of the country, from my understanding. I gave them a shout-out for listening in Colorado, but then I got a message that they're listening, I believe, in Missouri or Kansas or somewhere else in the Midwest. So the Stanley family and all the families that are joining us across the United States, thanks so much for listening to us. As a great volley there, tipped, and Willis will keep it under control. Big blast there, and it's in. And I asked during intermission if I got permission from Tierney Jackson to call her Tierney the Rocket Jackson, and she said that was fine. And that her and Mia were both known as the Twin Towers by one of their coaches along the way. So I may reach deep into my verbiage and use that. Nicely done. Smart play there, I believe, by Ludwig to get it over. Caught the Lady Hornets sleeping, and Union's on top. 3-1. Willis to serve. Kaylee Willis to serve. Nice serve controlled there well by the Hornets. Nice save by Norwood. She gets it back over, and they'll knock it out of bounds. Amaya Norwood with the nice save, and the Lady Hornets can't keep it in. Willis tries to set it up. Robledo. Jackson will just knock it back over. Miscommunication there. Good communication by the Lady Hornets, and they'll keep it alive. Blackwell over to Jackson, and a big block there by Kendall Johnson. And the trio of Johnson and Turner come up with a nice block. Willis with the nice serve. Save. Jackson got it over. And again, Ludwig with the really nice, she'll get the return, and the Hornets set it back up. Point awarded to the Hornets. LaPointe checks in. Point awarded, to Union on that. And Blackwell back to serve. 5-2 Union. Tierney Jackson. Nice little pop over the net. Not breaking out the howitzer there and deciding to use a little soft touch just to tap it back over. Nicely done there by Kendall Johnson for the Hornets. And a big blast by Mackenzie Johns. And the Hornets are awarded a point. Emma Pappas to serve. Pappas to serve. So out are Norwood, Willis, Jackson, Blackwell, LaPointe, and Ludwig. Norwood with a nice set. Oh, and quickly back over. Trying to catch the Hornets off guard was Ludwig, but she didn't get it. And Ludwig will get it back over, but it's out of bounds. Point awarded. And the Lady Hornets found themselves only down by 2 now. Pappas goes back. Pappas will serve. Jackson gets the return and a big blast there. Nicely done. Mia Martin checks back in. Mia Martin checks back in. Jackson to serve. Tierney Jackson to serve. She's going to get some help from the net there, but the Hornets recover nicely. Set up. Blackwell to Willis, back to Jackson. And the Hornets live to see another day. Tip there and out of bounds. And the Lady Hornets are doing well to stay in this one. Trinity McKnight checks in for the Hornets. McKnight to serve. Trinity McKnight will check in and immediately go to serve with her squad down by 2. Out of bounds. Little too much from McKnight on the serve. And Ludwig will be back to serve there. Big block. Nicely done. A combination there of LaPointe and Smith on the block. Coach Leatherland barking some orders to his girls in the front. As Ludwig will serve again. Handled by Pappas. Long. And Union will match their biggest lead, up by 5. And just as soon as I say that, Ludwig knocks it out. Willis will check back in for Ludwig. As Emily Ludwig says the "I'm sorry" to Coach McKee. We all make mistakes, Coach. Nice save there as the Hornets get it back over and let it go out. Willis with the nice eye there. Robledo checks in. Cha-Cha Robledo back to serve. She wipes off her Nikes there. Gets them all nice and sticky. Comes up with a pretty nice serve that's handled well by the Hornets as they get it back over. Jackson will volley over. The Hornets set it back up. Big blast there, tipped. Tip there. And it's 11-7. Taryn McIntosh to serve. McIntosh back to serve for the Lady Hornets. As her squad's down by 4. Robledo, Willis, and Jackson on the back. Willis will control. Over to Jackson. Jackson with the big howitzer, and that's in! And they are overruled. Yeah. It was close, but overruled there. Point awarded to the Lady Hornets. May have heard I'm getting some nice help from one of our scorekeepers here. The help is always appreciated. And it's still alive, and Jackson gets it back over. Beautifully done. Jackson sets it up to Blackwell, and the big blast, and almost recovered by the Hornets, but point awarded to Union. 12-8 now. Amaya Norwood checks back in, the junior, and she'll serve. Amaya sporting some nice new tennis shoes over there. Of course, they're probably not tennis shoes. I know I'm showing my age right now, but man, they're purple. Little white buckle on them. Looking pretty sharp over there is Norwood, and she's playing just as sharp as they'll keep it going. Robledo up front. Barely tips it over, and a nice lucky bounce and a roll. And Norwood in her fancy shoes will go back and serve again. Sporting some TCU Horned Frog colors are Amaya, and she enjoys the ace. And there's a timeout on the floor, and we'll take a timeout here as well. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. Thanks for helping us out by protecting the health and safety of our student athletes. Yes, by wearing face coverings and maintaining social distance. Face coverings are required in all Union Public School facilities, so on behalf of Union Athletics and Union Public Schools, we'd like to thank you for your cooperation. Probably should have taken my own advice. As we welcome you back in here to Union High School's gymnasium on the campus of Union High School, got to give a shout out, and I got to let you guys know what happened. So last week during senior night, yours truly, the announcer extraordinaire that you're listening to right now, contracted COVID somewhere. I have no idea where. But unfortunately, that means that it quarantined myself, our great athletic director, Emily Barkley, and the amazing producer director, and Andy Irwin. And so on senior night, we weren't able to broadcast the festivities here on Union UView. So I don't know who to say I'm sorry to, except to you, the fans out there, because I know senior night's a big deal, and everything that these young ladies did to get to senior night and through their season. I got to be honest with you. I've had a lot of things that I've missed in my 51 years on this planet, but I was really upset for these girls and you fans out there, because I know you don't tune in to listen to me. You tune in to watch these young ladies. And for us not to be able to bring it to you in this format was really, really heartbreaking for myself and, of course, Mr. Irwin, Andy Irwin, and really all of Union Athletics. So, like I said, I want to apologize to you, but as many of you are aware, it's not a matter of if you're going to get it. It's when you're going to get it. So I would tell you guys to take care of yourselves out there, mask up at every opportunity, and social distance, because this thing is nothing to play around and goof off with. So nicely done there by Willis to try to control it, and I'll get off my soapbox about COVID. But on behalf of myself and Andy Irwin in the Union Athletics Department, I want to say I apologize for not being able to be here on senior night for these young ladies. Big blast there. Whoa. I got to believe there was a tip. They won't call it. 15-12 now. Sydney Thompson back. And while I was on my tirade about COVID, Lady Hornets are making it a game. So it's high time I stop talking about that. Moving on. That's right, as you may have heard the great Andy Irwin say. Norwood sets it up. Over to Blackwell. Smith with a big drive. It's Sydney Smith rights the ship. As she blasts it home, Ludwig checks back in for her, and Kaylee Willis will step back and serve with Union up by 3. Well handled there by Yamashita. Norwood can't handle it, gets it all the way back over. The Hornets set it back up, and it's long. Now 17-13. Willis back to serve. Nice, hard, low serve there. Robledo can't handle the blast. From Lexa Turner, number 18. And it's 17-14 now. Yamashita back to serve for the Lady Hornets. Willis sets it up to Blackwell, over to Jackson. Big blast. Nicely dug out of there by Sydney Thompson. And the Hornets keep it alive. Oh. Jumped up and tried to have the big stop. Maddie Lapointe checks in. As Lapointe checks back in, Robledo gets a well-deserved rest. Cha-Cha gets to have a sit-sit. And a big blast there, and Sydney Thompson can't handle it. And yes, I did, as I get asked if I just said Cha-Cha gets to have a sit-sit. Hey, you get what you paid for, Mr. Irwin. Ooh. Big hustle there and a big hand. Great hustle by the Lady Hornets, and by golly, we almost had somebody wrecking their face on this near post. Super hustle, though, by the Hornets. Lexa Turner tried to simply tap it over, but Ludwig didn't have anything to do with that. And Blackwell back to serve. The Hornets will be good just to get it over, and they do. They live to see another day. Big blast. Good Lord have mercy. Tierney, the Rocket, Jackson again with another big blast that the Hornets can't handle. And 22-14 as Blackwell serves it. Norwood with a nice dig there. They'll set it up over to Blackwell. Over to Lapointe, but she can't get it done. As a nice block there by Mackenzie Johns and her friends. Keeps the Lady Hornets to within 7. Willis, Jackson, over by Lapointe. And just a nice little soft touch over. And Stallcup checks back in. Stallcup and Martin check back in. Stallcup and Martin check back in, as you may have heard, as I announced to the fans here. And Stallcup to serve. 2 points, what we want here. Tipped over by Maddie Lapointe. Set point. And Stallcup will serve for set point. Tip, and can do it, and they'll take set number 2. Union again wins by 10, and there's a theme here tonight here in the gymnasium. 25-15. We'll take a couple-minute timeout. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. Welcome back to Union High School. As we come back in live, we're showing you a shot of all of our seniors in Allie Blackwell, Aubrey Stanley, Kaylee Willis, Emily Ludwig, Kaylee Mitch, and Kaylin Stallcup. And I want to mention these girls, and I probably can't mention these young ladies enough. This season, as you guys know, has been unlike any other season ever. And for these seniors, yes, it's memorable, and hopefully it's memorable for the right reasons. We were able to bring you most of the home games here on Union U-View, so that's awesome. And we tried to make it as special for these seniors as possible. Not taking anything away from the juniors and the sophomores that we have, but hopefully next year is a little different for all of us. And yes, we will still bring you this live, God willing, and I tell you what, it will be awesome next year. But I got to hand it to these young ladies, these seniors, being tough and showing some great perseverance as we head into regionals. And we'll talk about regionals here shortly. So here we go, set number 3. Union up 2 sets to love. Back to serve is Sydney Thompson, and we're underway. Robledo quickly can't handle the serve, and she's had a little problem with that serve tonight. She's mad at herself about it. She can handle these serves much better than she has. Coach McKee giving her a little coaching, as he should. Into the net it goes, and we're knotted at 1. This gives me a quick mention. Coach Chad McKee is finishing up his 26th regular season at Union High School. And I will tell you that not only as a coach, my son was fortunate enough to have him as a science teacher. And I can't say enough about Coach McKee. The kind of person he is with these young ladies is the kind of person he is in the classroom, in his science classroom. And I can't say enough about everything that he does for his students day in and day out. So Coach McKee, from all of us at Union, congratulations on what will be the end of your 26th regular season, and hopefully many, many more for you here at Union. Tipped there by the Lady Hornets. And Union's up 3-1. We're in the 3rd set here. Willis serves. Big blast there. The Hornets will do good to get it over, and they do. Norwood sets it up. Big blast by Ludwig, and it's out of bounds, tipped out of bounds by Lexa Turner. Robledo handled nicely. Under the net went Kendall Johnson, point awarded to Union while we got a quick break. Looks like the Yankees are on top at Tampa Bay 2-1 in the 4th inning. But most of you are probably watching me or listening to me, watching the girls and watching a game if you're a sports fan. I tell you right now is probably one of the greatest times of the year, I think. In normal circumstances, we'd have the NHL starting. You got football and college football underway, of course. And then Major League Baseball in the playoffs as the big blast by Jackson is in. And Union's on top, 7-1. I'm torn between what's the greatest part or greatest sports season, whether it's fall or spring. I'm sure Nick Irwin, who's listening to me, will chime in and let me know his thoughts. It's tough. Producer director just told me the season between January and December is the best sports season, and he's probably right. But if I had to pick a season, we'll keep it here so we can keep this nonsense chatter going as you get a shot there of the aforementioned Coach McKee. Doesn't look a day over 35. And he's been with us 26 years, so you do the math. As Willis is back to serve. Willis to serve with Union up 8-1. But back to this conversation about greatest sports season. It's tough to tell, especially in this part of the country with as the football is such a dominant sport, especially this part of the country. That's a point awarded to the Lady Hornets on the tip from Union. Allie Blackwell has some comments for the Lady Hornets at the net. They'll get it over. Big blast there by Ludwig. Ludwig wasn't going to set that up. She's seen enough of that nonsense, and she just knocked it over. Maddie LaPointe checks in. LaPointe checks in. Blackwell to serve. Blackwell to serve. Allie Blackwell, one of the aforementioned seniors, having a phenomenal year, as all these seniors are. Ludwig gets it over. Jackson with a big blast. Handled well there by Emma Pappas. Oh! And they find a soft spot in the defense. Great hustle there by Amaya Norwood, but she can't dig it out. As Willis gives her some love for laying out. In the net again is number 9, Taryn McIntosh. Mia Martin checks back in. Caitlin Stallcup checks back in. Stallcup to serve. She checks back in with her squad up by 7 here at set number 3. Coming close to us, but it's played over by the Lady Hornets. Big setup there. Ludwig with the blast. And I'll tell you what, that darn near took Kate Yamashita's head off. And she all smiles after that. As she knows that was going to hurt. Quick reaction by her. And she's back in the game. Willis with a nice dig. Stallcup gets into the action. Back over, big blast! Oh my! And that's out of bounds. Trinity McKnight checks back in. Trinity McKnight checks back in, and she'll serve for Union. So Stallcup and Willis, along with Mia Martin on the back. Up front, Jatson, Ludwig, and LaPointe. I said LaPointe. I lied. It was Allie Blackwell up front. And LaPointe. And Jackson. I guess I didn't lie. Sydney Smith checks back in. Ludwig to serve up 12-4 is her squad. Boy, some miscommunication there as Allie Blackwell kind of departed her spot. Put Ludwig in a bad position to have to try to play it. Willis checks back in. And she'll set it up. Smith with the big blast, and that's out of bounds. Sydney just couldn't keep that one in. And the Hornets are back to within 6. Find a soft spot. Willis can't reach it over the head of Stalkup. And the Hornets are back within 5. Smith gets another chance. Tipped. And point awarded to Union on the big blast. Robledo checks back in. Cha-Cha Robledo gets to serve it up. Nice dig there by Union, or excuse me, by the Hornets, good Lord. Another nice dig by the Hornets. Keep it alive as it comes over near us. And Mr. Irwin couldn't play it. He could have to keep it alive, but he was too busy playing with his keyboard over here. 14-7. Robledo to serve, and a nice serve. Handled well by the Hornets. They'll set it up. Big blast, and they'll let it go long. Willis with the nice eyes there. Lets it go long. And it's 15-7. 8-point lead. Smith, just a little hard from Sydney Smith. But she's got a cannon, and it's one of those things, if she can keep that thing down, she's a lot like Jackson in that you're not going to stop it, you're going to only hope to contain her. Big blast there, and that one's not out of bounds as well. As Mia Martin kind of shakes her head in disgust. Young lady hard on herself there. And that's out of bounds. McIntosh, too many Wheaties this morning. Aubrey Stanley checks in. Amaya Norwood checks back in. Aubrey Stanley, another one of these great seniors, enjoying a phenomenal year with Chad McKee's squad. Nicely done. Wow, and a friendly bounce there over the net. And it went inbounds. Smart play there. Norwood to serve up 17-9. A little short on the serve. Hornets will handle it well. Let it go long. Yeah, and that ball was out of bounds. That ball was out of bounds. The line judge there was trying to move and make the call at the same time as it was coming right at her. She'll be overruled by Jerry Brands, and the point awarded to Union. Okay, so Brands now is saying, Jerry Brands is now saying it was tipped, and after a conversation, they're going to award the point to the Hornets. Mackenzie Johns checks back in. Mackenzie Johns checks back in. I will tell you, I've been fortunate enough to call a lot of sports, and this is one of the few sports where you see a conversation happen between a player and an official, and the official changes his mind. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love the communication, especially when it's professionally done. You're teaching these young ladies and young men how to play the sport and how to be professional and sportsmanship about it, and I admire that. I think it's a sport, and it's a part of the sport that other sports need to really look into. I think Jerry Brands there awarding a young lady who's just having a conversation with him. So nicely done there. As Willis serves with Union up by 8. Oh, and nicely done. John's there with the quick hands, but she couldn't keep it in. 19-10. As Norwood and Robledo give a cool little handshake. We get underway. That's way long. And Union's up by 10. Kaylee Mitch checks in. Kaylee Mitch checks in here for Union. As Kaylee Willis is back to serve. Mitch with the nice. Over. Try to set it up. Kept alive there. Too many hits. The point was that Aubrey Stanley did not touch it. So it was too many hits there for the Lady Hornets. As Willis' squad is now up by 11. Mitch and Rebello talk. They switch sides. They get it over. Robledo sets it up. Over to Ludwig. Bam! Big blast. Nicely controlled there by the Hornets. They'll keep it alive. Willis. Great conversations there. Stanley got it over. And the Hornets cannot convert. And we're 3 points away from match point. Christian Friday checks in for Washington. Number 17, Christian Friday checking in, getting a big hand from her girls on the bench. That's what you may have heard, what all the hubbub was about. And that's long. Gracie Howard checks in for Union. Gracie Howard checks in from Union. We'll take a timeout here. Coach McKee wants to talk about it. They're up by 13. Set number 3. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Union Volleyball on Union UView. As we come back live here to the Union High School Gymnasium on the campus of Union High School, I want to give a quick update here. Don't forget, regional volleyball is set to kick off for Union next week when Union travels to the Frank Harold Fieldhouse on the campus of Jinx High School to take on Sand Springs. That's going to be Tuesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. And the winner of that match will take on the winner of Jinx and Muskogee, with that match tipping off at approximately 7:30. But more importantly, Tuesday the 13th, Union takes on Sand Springs at Jinx as part of the regionals. And we're set up for match point. Match point. Now Booker T. Washington, they'll head to Bishop Kelly for their regional, and we wish the Lady Hornets the best of luck in their regional. As we do all the girls, and a big blast, and we're done. The Union volleyball squad takes it in dramatic fashion, winning by 10, 10, and 15 in set number 3. And what a great ending for the regular season for Union. Well, guys, we thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of the families, the Ludwig family, the Stanley family, and all the other families that I forgot to mention watching us on Union UView. Hey, it's Jinx Tuesday, October 13th. If you could be there, that'd be great. For Andy Irwin, our 2 camera folks by the name of Jerome and Abby, thanks so much for all the work that you did. For all of us here at Union High School, take care, and we'll see you next time.